Okay, welcome everybody. We have Rabbi Smith here and myself, and we're continuing on in the middle of chapter 19, Yud-Tes, and let's start reading inside. And the question is, in the higher unity, the question is, if there is nothing else besides the God Almighty, how is it possible that we see different emotions? We see an emotion of expansion. We have another emotion of constriction. We have an emotion of going for it. Like in the business world, they say pulling the trigger. And we have another emotion of caution. We have an emotion of balance. And these are the building blocks of the world. We're not the only ones who have these emotions. We find these emotions also by animals. We also find these emotions in like the laws of science, how the physics works. So how is it, if these are the building blocks of creation, how is it that there is nothing else besides him? Isn't this parts? If he's unlimited, then he wouldn't have any parts. So the answer is that when we, using the metaphor of a human being, when we think, this is motivated by a desire, an emotion that wants us to think or speak or do, and those emotions are powered by our want, and our conscious want is powered by our subconscious want, and that's l'rotzen, a subconscious want, and our subconscious want is powered by a general want to achieve, to accomplish, and that general want to accomplish is rooted in the core of our soul. So it turns out that none of these things have any existence on their own, because they're totally dependent on what's before them. The emotion is totally dependent on the want, and the want is totally dependent on the subconscious want, and the subconscious want is totally dependent on the general want to accomplish, and the general want to accomplish is rooted in the core of our soul. So even that is nullified to the core of the soul. So all we have is the core. And that's how, one way to understand how there's nothing else besides him. And we fulfill the commandment of connecting everything to the oneness of God. Leyachada in Hebrew. So let's read inside where we are. And we're discussing how you have a subconscious want that powers the conscious want. V'nimtza, turns out now, because we have these things are in us, because we come from God, we're made in the image of God. If you're wondering what that means, this is what we're talking about. Our template, if we analyze our own template, we look into our own heart and we understand our different parts, this gives us an ability of understanding about God. V'nimtza, turns out, she'arotzen l'rotzen shel chesed, that the hidden want to the open want of kindness, b'chlal in general, yuchol laheli kama rotzen shel chesed. It's able to give birth to a number of wants of kindness. It can manifest in different ways, but prat, in parts, specifically, becoming yanim shonim in various different ways. In other words, for one person, you're going to buy, to show kindness, you're going to give them, for kids, you're going to give them sweets. And an older kid, you're going to give them a racing car. Somebody else, you're going to give them a steak and beer. So the kindness can express itself in different ways. Boifanim shonim, and in different presentations. The presentation, the packaging, very different ways of packaging things. V'akol b'moker echad shu harotzen hanelam, and everything comes from a hidden want, anikra etzem harotzen shel chesed, which is the essential want of kindness. Mitzad atzmis hamida hayulis, because there's an essential emotion which has potential to express in many different ways. Rak sheba b'derech prat liyis roten l'roten zeh. It's only that this essential desire decides to become a subconscious desire for this revealed desire. B'davar prat, in a specific way. Zeh chulu v'dal, like buying the beer and getting the steak. Umuvan, and it's understood al kapanim, like after all of this, there's a very big difference between a revealed desire lechesed, to kindness. All it is a revelation of what was hidden. What we're trying to say is that there's only the essence of God, and everything else is just a shine from it. It's just like you have the essence of your soul, and the fact that you want to do kindness, that's a shine from it. Gilei Ahelam, revealing what was hidden there, Shala Etzem, of the essence, Harotzen, of the want, which gives birth to this a conscious want, Shubam Bekach Etzem Amida, which this conscious want is powered because of the essential, the essence of the emotion, Shehu Einu Bevichinas Nivdal Chulu Vadal, and the essence of the emotion is not something separated from God. It is an expression, a shine of the essence. Valderach Marshal. Now we're going to understand a metaphor. So earlier on we had like 8 metaphors, which could be divided into 5, not really deviating from our track record of having 5 metaphors on each level. But he's bringing another metaphor now. Valderach Marshal. We're going to go on the path of metaphor. Zeh. Valderach Marshal Zeh Yuvan Inyan Kerederis Meresh the Adam Kadmein. It says that God calls out all the generations from the head of the Adam Kadmon for the first man. The first man is God deciding to create the character that's going to tell his story. And this first man includes in him all the generations that are going to come out of him, all the generations that come out of Adam. We are all telling the story of God. For example, why is it called calling generations? Because when you call, what happens is something that was like just hidden, existed, just becomes revealed. The chutz. So too, the whole idea of the 10 spheres, the Atzilus of Atzilus, who sheyatzu mehalmam legilui bilvad. Their only function is that they went from hidden to revealed. And that's why they are called lights, or spheres. Meziv ve'er. It's like a light. Eretz spheres meziv ve'er. V'kamei kol bechinas gilui hahelam. May kol bechinas gilui hahelam she'enu rak bechinas er. So basically, the healing's revealing something that's hidden. It's the idea of light. It's the idea of light. So there's basically a fire or a candle, and light just automatically comes out of it. Kebechinas mara v'gavan, like a picture and a color. But by the way, we're repeating over our previous metaphors, and we're saying like the movement of a human, of a living thing, is just like a light. It's like a light that comes out of this essential living thing. And another time it says that it says when Moses created the Sanhedrin, he had to take some of his spirit and give to the others. But it's not like he took a physical piece of him and he gave it to the other leaders that he was creating. It's just like a shine. The Yatzel min Aruch, a shine from his spirit. Shein ze rucha shel Moshe. This is not the essential spirit of Moshe. Rabbechinas gilui arai v'zivei belvad. The only thing is Moshe's light was shining inside these people. Who shenetzal v'hefresh, basically a netzal. Etzel means next to. So something was taken from next to Moshe, v'hufresh, and then separated. It's like the revelation. We use this metaphor, revelation of a fire from a coal when you blow in the coal. And similar metaphors that we gave above. And all of this is understood according to the metaphor. Explaining how does a want somehow translate into one thing, something else. Because the desire for this thing came out of the essence. So also the crowns of the 10 spheres, they are a revelation of want. In contrast to the essential hidden want, which is called the want of want. And that's the whole idea of the first man. Basically, it's the subconscious man. So when you're looking at somebody, you want to look at him as who is this person in Adam Kadmon? Even the evil that a person is, basically they're wanting the wrong things. But in the source is the fact that they want is a good thing, except that they want the wrong thing. So why do they want this wrong thing? There is some hidden want inside him, and over there it's not bad. They're just misinterpreting themselves. For example, a hidden want for kindness, the Adam Kadmon of this first man, that causes a revealed want for kindness, the Atzilus, in the world of Atzilus. This revealed want is called the crown of kindness. A crown means that's what they want. And similarly, from the hidden desire for intellect, his habos rotten le rotten. We're saying that this hidden desire to accomplish is creating a subconscious desire. But this subconscious desire is just a general ability to give birth to many different types of manifestations of want, in different ways, different things in different ways, different presentations. So too, from the rotten lechesed, from the desire for kindness in Adam Kadmon, in the first man, then Nelad is born Kamamine Gilui Rotzen Shel Chesed. Batzilus. Different types of expressions of wanting kindness comes out in Atzilus. What that manifests in that there are different commandments which allow the expression of kindness. And now the explanation of the technicalities of how this works is the Malchus, which is the leadership, which is the expression of the emotion of Adam Kadmon in the hidden first man, Nasa Bechinas Keser, that becomes the driver, the crown, the Midah Atzilus of the emotion of Atzilus, V'chol Sesa Spheres, and the general 10 spheres, 10 building blocks. Harirak, and the spheres is again like a shine, like the word sapphire. Sphere sapphire. Harirak Bechinas Malchus Adam Kadmon, Nasa Keser Atzilus. It's only the expression of the hidden Adam Kadmon becomes the crown, the driver of Atzilus. Urak mevichinas oisius v'gilu etzem hahelem harotzen. So what is Malchus? What is expression? It's the words, the letters, revealing the hidden want. Nasa era etzem shel agilei harotzon. That becomes the essential light of the revealed want. I learned that internal communication between different parts of a person, different functions inside the body, the communication is using words. So there's words, and a person, if they learn hypnosis, they can sometimes modify the communications that are happening on a subconscious level. I'm not saying depends how it's done. It could be beneficial. What we're explaining now is similar to what we explained in the 18th chapter. Only the actual action, the lowest level of the essential want, that becomes the hidden want for the revealed want. The hidden want for the revealed want are the 10 spheres of Adam Kadmon. It's known that we've revealed the want. When the want of a teacher, of a giver, becomes revealed when they speak, that becomes the desire, the want of the receiver. In other words, when in a military somebody gives an order, only from the words of the commander, that becomes the driver of the subordinate officer. So the same thing in spirituality. Only the lowest level of the higher level of spirituality communicates and becomes the new driving power, the crown of the lower level. When you're revealed with words, with letters, an intellect, and it becomes revealed in words. What happens is the essence of the intellect now transports and is transformed and is delivered in the receiver. But what's the transportation is letters and words. So only from the letters and the words of the revealing of the kindness, of the of the giver, that becomes the essential desire from the communication, from the leadership, from the kingship of Adam Kadmon, that becomes the driver of the next level of Atikemim, the higher days, which is basically a revelation of revelation of Igulim of Kav. Atikim is a revelation of Kav, of the subconscious accomplishment that God establishes through that He wants to achieve in the creation of the world. From revealing the want to speak, Nasa kol moker bechinas kol gilui rotzen shemitzad atainu shenikra kesed atikemim. That becomes the desire and the driving force behind the crown, the pleasure, the accomplishment of the next level after Adam Kadmon is Atikemim. Atikemim and Arachanpim are really two sides of the same coin. Like we're going to explain. Behind close Indian Esesphiris, Atzilus, Shiyatsu Mehelam, Esesphiris. The whole Indian of the 10 spheres, they came out from the hidden Esesphiris, Adam Kadmon, Kameshikosov Kedu, Deres Meresh. He calls the generations from the head. In other words, he calls means he expresses. And the expression becomes the new driving force for those generations. And that is the end of this chapter, chapter 19.